Hello there. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. For anybody who is new here, hello, my name is Kay. If you're not new here, welcome back once again. I tried to record this video. I feel like I'm just making it too long. I'm missing a point or whatever. And hopefully I can say it correctly. Um, Hopefully this will be the last time so I can hurry up and get it out there because it's already like 2 weeks that I've been having troubles. Anyways, long story short, the word that came to me today was just pretty much was, um, what did not come to me today, but it came to me that day about 2 weeks ago now. It was who is influencing you. Um, what was it? Evil company corrupts good manners. That's what I was hearing, and um, I'm coming off the top of my brain and definitely inviting the Holy Spirit. So be patient with me, guys. Um, but what the Lord is trying to help us understand is that whoever it is that is around us, that is our friends, or even in relationships, you might even have a relationship that's around or that you're in that's not of God. That's not something that God put together, okay? Relationship and friendships. We need not to take these kind of things lightly. The Lord is saying that these things are like very important, extremely important. Um, One of the things that He's saying about it is uh, we have to understand that just having friends around us that's ungodly. For example, in my life, I had a friend that was an ungodly friend, and this friend was suffering through some demons. She was dealing with some spirits of untimely death, delays, um, alcoholism, sexual immorality. It was a lot going on with this female. I was trying to hang out with her either way, but a lot of her characteristics was rubbing off on me, and I wasn't even trying to be like that. Like, I found myself wanting to go out more, drink more, just being like that. And then I also found that I started having dreams that were um, of death, like me dying before my time. Thus, when I got the interpretation, was the spirits of untimely death. Then I'm also waking up with scratches, and I talk to her, and I'm like, hey, I've been getting scratches. She's like, oh yeah. She's like, I've been getting those for years. So then I understood that, like, it goes real deep when you are hanging out with people. Like, everything is spiritual. I had another friend where it was me just not even trying to hang out with this friend outside of work or really in person, really, but just talking with the friend and stuff like that. With the friend that I was talking to, um, the Lord had told me that this person was a portal. Another thing that the Lord had let me understand is that, even when you're talking to people, because the spiritual realm is reality. It is our reality. It is what shapes the physical realm. Okay. So with that being said, um, we need to understand that uh, whatever somebody is thinking they are, whatever somebody is thinking that is, um, what's in the unseen is the truth. Okay, um, it's very real. And what I mean by that was I had found myself just talking to a person, you know what I'm saying? And then I found that I was having weird feelings, weird dreams, weird whatever, and the Lord was letting me understand that these people or this person was sleeping with me in their mental. Like, these people, male and female, this can happen to anybody because of the world that we're in. You don't just have to be like, women aren't just attracted to men, and men aren't just attracted to, their wives. You know what I'm saying? You could literally just be friends with somebody and they could have other thoughts towards you. And so this is why the Lord tells us in the Bible that if you are looking on somebody in a lustful way and all that, like you've done it, okay? That was enough. And so just by constantly being in relationship or constant communication with people who are also like lusting over you and sleeping with you in their minds and spirit, you know what I'm saying, is a big problem. It can shape um, your life. It could shape your behaviors, you know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, you're now mingling with this person spiritually, you know. In the word it says how King David and the Saul's son, their souls were knit, you know what I'm saying? And they never messed around with each other in a sexual way at all. But still, because they really got close like that, they were talking to each other, they, you know what I'm saying? That's enough right there, okay? And so, with that being said, we have to be careful about who we're communicating with, who we're talking to, because these people, our souls could be knit. We could be sleeping with them in the spiritual realm, and you wondering why. Okay, at first you were doing this, the walk with the Lord, you were doing it, but then all of a sudden you constantly hanging out with certain people, and then you just lose the desire. Okay, so it could be that whether it's male or female, they could be sleeping with you in the spirit. They could have those kind of intentions towards you, or just you guys are just hanging out with each other so much that, you know what I'm saying, your spirits is being knit in that way, because this is who you're becoming fond of. This is who you're really starting to like. This person is liking you. This, you know what I'm saying? And if you don't have that strong um influence over them, you'll be influenced by what they're doing rather than them being influenced by what you're doing. So one of the things that I do as well is I pray now that anybody that comes into my life, I influence them, not them influencing me. Okay, I don't want anybody to influence me anymore in my life to do anything wrong. Okay, so that's one. But like I just said earlier, people are also portals. Okay, and so if these people are living a demonic life or a devilish life, a wicked life, a worldly life, that is their soul. Okay, so that is the soul, that is the god of this world that they're yielding to, right? So now you have them as portals in your life, and you're talking with them and you're communicating with them, you're riding with them, they're at your house, they're around your children, or they're just around you, whatever. You understand? The fact is, these are portals, and then you're putting them around you, and this is how the devil is accessing your life. This is how the devil is accessing your mind, your marriage. You know what I'm saying? Anything. Okay? That is their access point. Okay? One thing about the devil, I feel like I did talk about this before, but I'll just say it again for this video. How the enemy is working, they do work through signs and symbols and things like that. Even the way that you dress and stuff like that. So I told you guys before, it can be something that you bring into your house that will attach the enemy to you. It'll be something that you're wearing that could attach the enemy to you. It'll be something that you're doing, something that you're listening to, and people that you're hanging around that could attach and draw the devil into your life. Okay? And so, with that being said, we have to make sure that we are keeping our house clean, our temples clean, our presence clean, okay? We have to be the ones with the strongest influence, okay? And the only way to have the strongest influence over people is if you're serious about your walk, okay? So if you find yourself, you're not heavy on the praying, you're not heavy on the fasting, you're just not heavy on reading, you're not heavy on the things of God, right? It's really not best for you to be around people that are worldly at all. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to hang with the sinners and all that, but the Lord did eat with them. And that says that you should have that type of power to be around them and not be overtaken and not be influenced by them. They should be the ones, because you're so soaked in the things of the Creator, the Almighty God. They should be the ones that in your presence, they get consumed. they are getting to a point where they're feeling convicted. You know what I'm saying? That should be happening. Okay. Another thing that the Lord wants us to change is our music that we're listening to. Like I was just now trying to express to you guys that, how the spirit controls the physical. And we have to remember how God created the world in the first place. How things are shaped in our reality in the world, okay, is by the spirit. And it has a lot to do with what you're saying, okay? What you're saying has a lot to do with life, okay? And so if you find that you are listening to people who are saying wicked things in their songs, like they're saying these things and then you're saying these things, remember that you have to give an account for every word that comes out of your mouth. Okay, child of God, when you leave here, and it doesn't matter if it's in a song, the fact that you felt the need to sing it says a lot. You felt that you could relate to it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Thus is why you're listening to it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So you very much have to be careful about what we're saying. But then another thing on top of that, you have to be, like I said, people are portals. So you letting all these different voices float into your life. You know what I'm saying? And that means if they're portals, you have to check the spirit that they're coming from. More than likely, since we're talking about music here, and this is a concern of the Lord's for you, we have to make sure that these people are not of the devil, because their voices in your car and in your home is a portal into your life. You know what I'm saying? The spirit that's in them, even if the words might be saying something about sex, money, and drugs, you know what I'm saying? Understand that there's a spirit behind that. So the spirit behind that, while you're listening to the song, you may enjoy it. However you want, you might enjoy it. But the spirit behind that person, the spirit within that person, is also speaking through that music. Okay? And so you are very much cursing yourself by putting that type of music on, by singing those lyrics. You know what I'm saying? You're listening to a cursed person, and now you're repeating their words. And you think there'll be no problem with that in the spiritual realm? Absolutely not. What the Lord wants us to understand is that those musics that or the music that we're listening to is taking a huge impact on our hearts. It's taking a huge impact on our minds. It's taking a huge impact on our life, okay? So we really have to be cautious of who we're listening to and who we're hanging around, okay? We have to understand that these people that are around us are literally, they are blessing blockers. They can stop us from our blessings. They can keep us from being prosperous. They can make us delay, okay? Especially if you're the type of person who don't have influence over them. If you don't have influence over them, they're influencing you. They have more power because you're not very strong on your spiritual walk. Okay, so therefore, we really got to get a hold of who's around us. Okay, we absolutely have to get a hold of who's around us. I've done things in my life where I have had to come out of it. Like, even if I did not want to say to this person, hey, I don't want to hang around you. I can't do this friendship anymore. I just did it. I just sent the text just so I can get it started. Forget how I'm going to make this person feel or how I'm feeling about it, because what the Lord helped me understand is that our feelings, okay, are very deceiving. Okay, you listening to this worldly music because it makes you feel good. You hanging around the wrong people because they make you feel good. You might be in an ungodly relationship, having a boyfriend, having a girlfriend, sleeping with people outside of marriage, whatever, because it makes you feel good. You dressing trashy because that makes you feel confident. And all of these things are false. It's all false. Okay, we have to get out of our feelings. So with me, just to make sure that I do the right things, I have literally gotten out of my feelings and just did what I ought to do, regardless of how I feel. Okay, because a lot of times you don't feel like doing the right thing, but doing the right thing is going to take you to your purpose. Okay, it's going to take you higher spiritually. Okay, we have to remember that when Jesus Christ came on the earth, and it was time for him to leave, when it was time for him to die for the world, he literally was asking, like, Lord, if you could take this cup, please, Father. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't feel it, okay? But he did what he ought to do outside of his feelings, which was the thing that helped all of us, okay? Gave, especially the ones who's choosing God, it gave us a chance, okay, to actually be forgiven and make it to heaven with the Father. So, long story short, we have to understand that our feelings can be very deceptive. I think that's what I'm looking for. Please, we have to get out of our feelings. That's what the Lord wants us to do. Get out of the feelings, okay? I want to tell you guys another situation that I had went through in my life. I don't know if I told you guys before, but I'll just say it again if I have already told you. I had a situation in my life where the Lord was telling me to do something that I ought to do, not what I wanted to do. At this time, I was with an ex. Um, when I got with this person, I lost my 3 bedroom apartment. I lost my car. I lost my good job. I lost all that good stuff. I lost it. I was having such a hard time picking up. Couldn't put nothing in. Anytime I tried to put something in the savings, I would just need it right away. I could not save. It was just, I could not get up in life. It was so hard, right? And with that being said, it was because of the person that was in my life. And so I remember one day I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, what do you want me to do? Am I going to be with this person or not? Like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? I feel incomplete. I feel drained. I feel, you know what I'm saying, like something's missing. You know what I'm saying? So what do I do at this time of my life? And the Lord said, leave him. I want you to leave him. Went and told him that I had to leave him alone. And we ended up parting ways, right? We part our ways, but I didn't want to. This is one of those things where I said that I did what I ought to do, not what I felt. Okay? And I've done this many times in my life, right? But this was actually the first time in my life where I'd done something, or probably the second time in my life. No, this was really the first time I've done something in my life before I was like truly, truly ready. Okay, I just did it because I ought to do it. Okay, and I got it started, and I told that person I didn't want to be with him, and then literally I had a point in my life where it seems like because I was doing that, the devil came to attack me. Okay, long story short, the devil came in my room and he came to tell me that I'm never going to be anything, that I might as well just kill myself because I don't know what my future holds. And this man was the only thing that loved me, even though it wasn't good. He was a little abusive, and that's really all I deserved. That's the best I was gonna get. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm gonna be single for the rest of my life. No, who's gonna want you? You have 4 kids. This is what the voice was telling me. Okay, and I can hear this voice, and it was outside of me. This voice had me crying like a big baby. I'm talking cries. I'm talking face wet, sweating. I'm talking like clothes, shirt, everything wet. I'm talking pillow wet, everything. I'm just soaked in tears. I'm hearing this voice, and it's just telling me that I'm never going to amount to anything. And what do I think that I'm doing? Trying to make a decision. Like, how do I even know that I'm doing the right thing? You know what I'm saying? All these things, right? And literally, I heard a still, calm voice, okay? And it told me, give me praise. And I knew right away that that was the Lord talking to me. And at that moment, I just began to thank the Lord. I said, thank you, Father. You're such a good God. Thank you, Jesus. And at that moment, as soon as I started to say that, my heart was so heavy. I never felt my heart so heavy in my life. I mean, this thing is telling me to kill myself, and it sounded like a great idea at the time, okay? So, literally, um, it was telling me to off myself. I don't know if I can say that or not. But long story short, it was telling me to get rid of myself. And it sounded like a great idea. And then I heard this voice telling me that. And once I heard the Lord speak to me, and I was obedient to that, and I listened to that, and I started to thank him, literally I could not cry any longer. Okay, I could not cry any more. Okay, my heart was just so relieved. I had no choice. It was like I got a spiritual hug, like God, like Jesus came down and hugged me in the spirit. And at that moment, I went to bed and I was sleeping peacefully. And then my mom gives me a call. Now, You guys don't know this, but I'm a very private person. I don't tell anybody what's going on in relationships. Nobody really knows anything that's going on about me. Okay, I'm a very private person. So when it comes to my family, I'm private. My mom calls me a lone soldier, literally. So with that being said, she actually gave me a call and she was like, "What's going on?" She was like, "The Lord told me to call you." And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" Because I'm still trying to be discreet. I didn't want to say anything. And she was like, "I don't know what the Lord told you to do, but He said that you're doing the right thing. That's exactly what He wants you to do, and keep going." You know what I'm saying? And that night, after, like, she called me in the midnight hour, so I went to bed and I had actually had a dream, and I actually had seen my husband. I had got, after the Lord gave me that beautiful message, He had actually let me see my husband's face before I actually met him in real life. Okay, so I was actually able to see me and him doing good, see us, and see his actual face. And so I'm telling you guys this story to tell you guys that even though it may be hard to do what you ought to do, you doing what you ought to do is going to be the best thing for you. When I remove those friendships out of my life that's not of God, that I realized that I've been blessed financially, I've been blessed more. I've been blessed with a new car. I'm owning this one. Um, I've been just blessed, period. And beyond physical things, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you guys that because the devil does take away physical things, and I did get those back from the Lord. But the best thing that ever happened was I was blessed spiritually, okay? And there's no more delays in my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually able to achieve what I want to achieve, move in my purpose, move in my calling, and I don't have any more delays, okay? So it's very important that we get people out of our lives that are not of God, that are not sent from God. If they're not from God, that friendship, that relationship, it has to go. You have to pray about everything. You have to pray about everyone, and you have to be obedient. In fact, that person that the Lord told me to leave, that wasn't the first time. Actually, when I first encountered the person, when I first met the person, the Lord told me not to even get started up with the person. But I did anyways. You know what I'm saying? And I just wasted my time. The person turned out to be abusive and other things. You know what I'm saying? So literally, had I just been obedient to the Lord, had I just done what I ought to do, it would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of heartache. It would have saved me a lot of, you know, the stuff that I went through. I wouldn't even have to go through all the delays and losing everything that I lost, because the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Okay? So if that's what he was coming to do, that's what he did through that person, through that portal that I had in my life. Okay? And so we have to understand that relationships and friendships are very important. These people that we listen into, the music will drain your spirit. It will curse your soul, okay? It will curse you. You have to stop listening to certain things. The music that you're listening to is influencing you. It is. Whether you know it or not, it is influencing you. Trust me, I promise you, it's influencing you in a negative way if it's not from God. What we have to do is start listening to things that's of God, guys. Okay? Things that's of God is going to help you grow your spirit. Imagine walking around the house and you have a gospel song stuck in your head, and you're speaking words over your life or into your spirit, into the atmosphere that is speaking blessings and not cursing. Okay? Literally, I find myself listening to a lot of Nigerian gospel. Not to say that that's the only kind that's out there, but I really believe that that's some of the deepest gospel I've found out here. Like, the words, what they're saying is some of the deepest things I've ever experienced. So at the end of the day, I feel like we need to make sure that we're taking it very seriously. Okay? Make sure that we're fasting. Make sure that we're praying. Make sure that we're reading. Make sure that we're speaking in the tongues. You know what I'm saying? But we really have to understand that we need to make sure that we are being influenced by godly things. Okay? Things and people that are around us that's going to influence us the God's way is all we need around us. When you're on this journey with Christ, you don't have time to play around. Okay? Time is short. Okay? The devil has already been stealing from you. So why keep allowing him to steal from you? Because if he's putting portals in your life, if there's music in your life that's not of God, it's all to kill, steal, and destroy you. So at this point, the Lord wants you to know, if you're wondering why you are delayed and you find that you're not picking up spiritually. Okay, I've already talked about praying. I've already talked about fasting. I've already talked about speaking in tongues. If you've done all these things, who is around you? And what are you listening to? What is influencing you? What still got you in that heart, that dark space in your heart? You can't go on a fast, empty up your spirit or empty up your flesh, and then turn around and turn on that music to fill your flesh with that filth. You cannot do that, child of God. You cannot do that. Okay? You have to change. Okay? That is the purpose of the channel. You already know. Hope to change. You there is hope for you. Okay? Use it. Jesus have given us hope. It's time for you to pick up and make those changes, regardless of how you feel. Regardless of how you feel, get out of your feelings, because those feelings can be very much demonic. Do what you ought to do, not what you want to do. Okay? Because your flesh will have you wanting to do a lot. Okay? But that don't mean it's the right thing for you to do. Now, if you really want to be saved, if you really want to be set free, that's another thing. Okay? So if that's what you really want, then you do what you ought to do, not what your flesh is telling you to do. I don't think I have anything else for you guys. Um, I think that's pretty much it. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever time it is, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. There's light at the end of this tunnel. Okay, guys? You keep pushing. You keep pushing. Spiritual growth is all we need. Okay? We're not worried about the material. Really, we're not worried about the material. So have a good one, guys. Bye.